Alright, today we're going to be working on slope, just a little bit of a review before we start our next unit. So go ahead and get your calculator. Make sure you pause the video. Go get it. Seriously. Go get it. I'll wait. Just make sure you get it because you're going to need it. I'm still waiting. Don't worry. Go get it. Alright, a couple things that you need to remember about slope. First is the formula. So can't do anything without the formula. So the formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Remember, we sometimes remember it as the picnic table with the yummies on top. Or it's rise over run. Rise over run. That's also a helpful way to remember it. Another thing about fractions. Fractions are usually better than decimals. So if you have an option, use the fraction, not the decimal. Okay, so fractions are usually better than decimals. When you have fractions, sometimes you can have improper fractions and mixed numbers. Improper is better than mixed. Okay, this isn't usually, this is almost always. When we're talking about slope, fractions are usually better than decimals, and improper are always better than mixed numbers when we're talking about slope. So keep those things in mind when you're calculating slope. It'll help you. Alright, now let's go to the next problem. I got two problems for you. We're just going to focus on the top one. Very basic. We've got 2 points. We're going to find the slope. So I got x and y, and I've got an x and a y. This is my first point. This is my second point. So now I'm going to do the slope. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 equals, now here's my y2, 7 minus 3, 6 minus 1. I do the top part, I do the bottom, and I'm done. Make sure the fraction's simplified. Don't leave it the way it is if it needs to be simplified. This one doesn't. 4/5 simplifies. So now we go to the second one. Get a calculator out for this one. Can't do this one in your head. Again, got 2 points. I got an x and a y. I got another x and a y. This is my first point, so x1, y1. My second point, and now I'm going to use my formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, so here you're going to start typing your numbers, writing down your numbers, negative 5.7 minus a negative 7.575. And then I have a 6.4 minus 2.025. This is where you need your calculator. Okay? You need to go get it right now. Go get it. Okay, so now that you have your calculator, we're going to go ahead and type this in. And we're going to type it in just the way it looks. So I'm going to do negative 5.7 minus a negative, or you can do plus, 7.575. That's what's going to go on top. So make sure you write that down on top. Okay, I'm using my fraction for that. Now I'm going to use my calculator for the bottom. 6.4 minus 2.025. Enter. I got 4.375. So I'm going to type that in your calculator and you get 4.375. You should do that exact same thing on your calculator. It's important that you know how to use yours and not the teacher's. This number is not okay. We have to convert that to a fraction. That's a messy number. So I'm going to type that into my calculator. I get a more messy decimal. I convert it to a fraction. And it turns out really nice, just 3/7. Let me show you. I'm going to do 1.875 minus 4.375, not minus, divided by. Sorry about that. Okay. 875 divided by, I get that messy decimal. You need to know how to convert decimals. into fractions on your calculator, and I convert it to 3/7. Pretty easy. All right. Now we're going to go on to something other besides points. Let's look at tables. Okay? So here's our first table. A table is nothing more than a bunch of points. So instead of having 2 points, I got 4 points. So pick any 2 points you want. I'll pick the top 2. Draw my arrow. I'm going to write them as 2 points. 9, negative 15.4, and 36, comma, negative 31.6. Again, these are my x's, 9 and 36, and these are my y's. Doesn't matter how the table is, but make sure you write your points correctly. So I'm going to start with my formula just like I was before. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Plug those numbers in. Negative 31.6 minus a negative 15.4 divided by 36 minus 9. Use my calculator again, just like I did before. You should do it on yours. And you end up getting negative 16.2 over 27. Now that number is not okay. We don't like decimals inside fractions. So we type this into our calculator. We do negative 16.2 divided by 27, convert it to a fraction, because fractions are better than decimals when it comes to slope, and that's what we get, a nice pretty slope. So my rise is down 3 and over 5. Now I have a graph. There's 2 ways to do a graph. First way is to pick 2 points. Pick 2 nice points. So I'm going to pick this guy right here, and I'm going to follow the line until I find another nice point. Ooh, right there. This is the point 0, negative 1, and this is the point 3, negative 3. Here's my x1, y1. Here's my x2, y2. So I do my slope, m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Type those numbers in. Negative 3 minus a negative 1, 3 minus 0. Type that in your calculator, you'll get negative 2 over 3. Make sure that reduces. It does, or it doesn't reduce, so we're done with that. That's the answer. But there is another way to do it. Instead of using this formula, I could use m equals rise over run. So I'm going to pick my point here, and I'm going to find my rise. My rise is down 2, and then forward 3. So my rise was negative 2 over 3, and I get the same answer no matter which way I do it. That's it. That's all you need to practice. We will work on this when you get to class on Wednesday.